on a federal level, there really has been no guidance. There has been no regulation. You see the SEC trying to shoehorn old regulations that apply to the old way of doing things into crypto, and it simply didn't work. The new administration is definitely going to be friendlier. I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're probably going to see some legislation actually come through.
One of the things that I remember from Matt was that he wanted to make sure everything was regulated, doing the things properly, right? And we have the same kind of values here at Zengate, right? But I wanted to kind of ask you, the current regulations that are out there right now, how does that really kind of impact the USDM stablecoin? Because the USDM stablecoin is backed by the US dollar, right? So the current regulations, and then I know that we just had kind of like change in the US government. Do you foresee, and I know you can't foresee the future, but do you see that regulation getting friendlier, or do you see it getting more negative? And I don't know, Jillian, James, whichever one you want to take it.
Yeah, well, we've been working with states because on a federal level, there really has been no guidance. There has been no regulation. You see the SEC trying to shoehorn old regulations that apply to the old way of doing things into crypto, and it simply didn't work. The new administration is definitely going to be friendlier. I think in the next 6 to 12 months, we're probably going to see some legislation actually come through. But we have had at least the ability, and what Matt was doing was looking forward at MiCA. It went into effect, but we knew like a year or more before what the framework would be. And he designed this token in such a way to not just meet, but exceed those regulations, so that when I go talk to people in Japan, we already meet their standard and, with flying colors. So in that regard, I think we're in a good spot. Yeah. Would you add anything to that, James?
I think we're absolutely in a good spot, and Jillian's got a great operational mind when it comes to that. We also have had quite a bit of information from Matt's mind because he wrote everything down and thought about every single little thing, and that's one of the things I loved about him. But I think ultimately we will see some new regulation that'll come out recently. We've already seen it with Fit 21 with Haggerty's bill, or not Haggerty's bill, sorry. Yeah, actually it is with Haggerty's bill. And then we're also seeing something with French Hill. French Hill is Fit 21, I'm sorry. Bill Haggerty's bill is a Genius Stablecoin Act that's going to be coming out as well. So not to confuse the two. But I think those two are going to give us some at least groundwork to work with. And then from there, the actual words and the definition of those words in order to be able to take and go, okay, I know which way I'm going now, and here's my rules. That's the most important thing we need.
I'm muted. Oh my God, I'm muted. One of the things that I'm lucky, right? I reside in the state of Pennsylvania, so I can actually use the system that you have in place. And you said, Jillian, that you're working with states. Can you kind of talk us through kind of the process that you have to go through regulation-wise to get into it, be able to bring a state on board? And I'm sure they vary from state to state because that's just the way that it works here in the United States. But can you kind of give us like a basic overlay of how that regulation works?
Sure. So we need to be registered in every state that we want to do business in as a foreign entity, foreign business. And then we need to have an agent in that state. And setting all that up is basically just a lot of government paperwork. Luckily, my experience in government in the past has really been helpful. Oftentimes, you're going to, the local courthouse to get things done, to get paperwork done. But it's fairly, I don't want to say easy, but straightforward. And many of the states are a lot alike. They generally, like, once one state has a rubric, then other states will just copy that. You do see in like California and Hawaii, in New York, they're a little bit more stringent or forward thinking, or trying to put, trying to single out crypto. And so we have to maneuver those new regulations. But for most states, we're just kind of fitting into the slot that a money transmitter would fit into in any other context. So yeah, it's just slow and arduous because we are working with the government.